Everyone thinks the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex is just one giant concrete jungle. But if you actually live here, you know it's really two completely different worlds. Most people fixate on Dallas, but the Fort Worth side, specifically that Golden Triangle area and the areas running up towards Denton, is changing faster than anywhere else in the state. My name is Sean, and I've been watching this transformation happen on the ground for years. Today, I'm breaking down the heavy hitters: Keller, Southlake, Westlake, Flower Mound, Colleyville, Grapevine, Roanoke, and the Alliance Corridor. We're going to look at the lifestyle, the price tags, why people are sprinting to this side of the map. And stay with me, because one of these zones has a growth curve and a cool factor that most outsiders don't even know exists just yet. Before we dive into the specific towns, you have to understand that this area is how the area is laid out. We're not talking about downtown Fort Worth today. We're talking about northeast Tarrant and southern Denton County. This is the corridor. This area is basically built around three major lifelines: I-35, Highway 114, and Highway 121. The luxury core, now this is Southlake and Westlake, kind of a bubble. It's where the high-end estates and corporate executives land. The family strongholds are Keller, Colleyville, Flower Mound. These are the spots people move to specifically for the schools and that manicured suburb feel. The activity hubs, the fun spots, this is Grapevine and Roanoke. This is where you go when you actually want something to do on Friday night that isn't just going to Target or Home Depot. The frontier, now this is the Alliance Corridor. This is the industrial and residential powerhouse that is eating up the prairie that has been there forever. That used to be farmland and cow pasture. DFW is now the fourth biggest metro in the country, and a massive chunk of that weight is shifting west. We've got Charles Schwab, Fidelity, TD Ameritrade right here in our own backyard. The housing market is shifting too. While we've seen prices skyrocket, inventory is finally creeping up, and we're seeing more room for negotiation than we've seen and had in years. If you want to see where the real old and new money of Fort Worth resides, it's Southlake and Westlake. The vibe here is pretty simple: perfection. You drive downtown, the downtown Southlake Boulevard, and every lawn is manicured. The shopping at Town Square is world class, and the schools, the Carroll Dragons, are a religion. People don't just move to Southlake, they arrive. Westlake is even more exclusive. It's consistently ranked as one of the wealthiest neighborhoods in America, the entire country. You've got the Vaquero Club, where the lots are massive and the privacy is unparalleled. Price tag in Southlake is, you're looking at a median well north of 1.2 million. In Westlake, entry level might be 2 million, and it goes up to, if you have to ask, you can't afford it level. The draw, it's proximity to 114, corporate corridor. If you work at the Schwab or Deloitte campuses, your commute is 5 minutes, if that. The catch, it's expensive, and the competition for homes, even at these price points, is still fierce, but nope. And the catch, it's expensive, and the competition for The catch, it's expensive. And the competition for homes, even at these price points, is still fierce because there's only so much land left. Just a stone's throw away, you have Keller and Colleyville. Keller has been named one of the best places to live in America multiple times, and for good reason. It feels like a small town that grew up but kept its soul. You've got Old Town Keller with its local shapes, and then you've got the massive master plan communities like Hidden Lakes. Colleyville is like Southlake's slightly more relaxed cousin. It's heavily wooded, very quiet, used to be an equestrian town, and has rural luxury feel. You won't find many massive shopping malls here. It's more about high-end grocery stores and boutique fitness spots. The vibe is high-end suburban, very safe, very quiet, very focused on youth sports and Friday night lights. The schools, Keller ISD and Grapevine Colleyville ISD, are major draws. They are the primary reason people are willing to pay the North Tarrant premium. The housing, you can find great homes in Keller in the $500,000, $800,000 range, while Colleyville tends to push closer to that $800 to $1.2 million to get in. Now, if you cross over the county line into Denton, you hit Flower Mound. I call this a unicorn because it's one of the few places that manages to feel like a deep forest while being 10 minutes from the DFW airport. Flower Mound has incredibly strict development rules. They protect their trees, which means the neighborhoods don't feel like cookie cutter suburbs. Lakeside DFW, which is a massive mixed use development right here in right on Lake Grapevine, which borders the southern edge of Flower Mound, where you can walk to dinner, catch a movie, and then walk back to your high-rise condo or luxury townhome. The outdoor life, you've got North Shore Trail, mountain biking and hiking, plus all the boating on Lake Grapevine. And the growth, well, the northern part of Flower Mound up toward Argyle is the next big frontier. That's where the new construction is booming. If you hate the idea of living in a soulless suburb, you need to look at Grapevine and Roanoke. Grapevine is the Christmas capital of Texas. It's historic. Main Street is lined with wine tasting rooms, local boutiques, and the vintage railroad. You can live in a historic 1920s bungalow or a brand new build. Plus, you literally are attached to the airport. If you travel for work, there's no better base than Grapevine. Roanoke is the unique dining capital of Texas. It's a smaller footprint, but it's exploded. Oak Street is the heart of the town, filled with incredible restaurants. It's right on the edge of the Westlake, Southlake bubble. So you get some of that prestige with a more down-home Texas feel. And the benefit there is you actually have a downtown to walk through. And investment-wise, Roanoke is growing like crazy because it's the gateway to the Alliance corridor. Speaking of Alliance, this is the area that is fundamentally changing the economy of North Texas. Centered around the Alliance Airport, the corridor spans North Fort Worth, Roanoke, and Hazlet. It's a massive job center. Amazon, FedEx, Burlington, Northern Santa Fe, the big players, everyone is here because of that residential growth. It's staggering. We're talking thousands of new rooftops every year. And this is where you go for master plan communities, resort style pools, giant fitness centers, and elementary schools built right inside the neighborhoods. Places like Heritage or Alliance Town Center are the hubs here that are right connected to the Alliance corridor. And affordability, this is one of the last places in the preferred North Fort Worth area where you can still find quality new construction in the $400,000 and $500,000 range. The trade-off, traffic. It's not great. I-35 is a beast. If you can't get on the toll road, they've expanded lanes, which helps, but if you're commuting during peak hours, you're going to feel the growing pains of an area that is expanding faster than the concrete can dry. By the way, if you're new here to the channel, my name is Sean, and my team and I have been helping families relocate to the Fort Worth and Dallas area since 2001. Whether you're looking to move in 9 days or 90, we're here to really be your boots on the ground. We take the stress out of the move so you don't end up in a neighborhood that looks great on Google Maps, but feels like a nightmare in real life. All my contact info is in the description. Shoot me a text, give me a call. Let's talk about your specific situation. Okay, so we've talked about a bunch of different areas, but when we're comparing the zones, which one's the winner? When you're trying to choose between these spots, you have to weigh your must-haves. So if you want the best schools and price isn't the main concern, go Southlake or Westlake. You're buying into an elite lifestyle and rock solid investment. If you want the Texas lake life with a suburban twist, Flower Mound is your spot. The trees, the lake access are unbeatable. If you want a historic vibe and social life, Grapevine or Roanoke. You'll never be bored on a Saturday night. If you want the most bang for your buck and a brand new house, the Alliance Corridor or North Keller, that's going to be where it's at. You get amenities, modern layouts for a fraction of the Southlake price. One thing to keep in mind, the Golden Triangle, the area between Keller, Southlake, and Colleyville, is almost completely built out. That means property values that are generally very stable because there's more land to build. You get new competition. If you buy there, you're buying into a finished product. If you buy in the Alliance Corridor or north of Flower Mound, you're buying into the future, which means more construction noise now, but potentially more equity later. The Fort Worth side of the Metroplex is no longer the quiet neighbor to Dallas. It is the destination. Between job growth in Alliance and the luxury lifestyle in the 114 corridor, we're seeing a shift in the center of gravity for North Texas and where that really sits. The right choice depends on your commute, your budget, and how much you hate traffic. If you're like me, you don't want to commute. If you're working in downtown Dallas, Flower Mound or Grapevine are going to be your best bets. If you're working at the corporate campuses in Westlake, then Keller or Roanoke will give you the best quality of life. If you're serious about making this move and you want to narrow this down fast without wasting time on neighborhoods that don't fit, reach out to me. We'll talk through your budget and what you actually need, and we'll get you looking at the right properties fast. No. We'll talk through your budget, what you actually need, and we'll get you looking at the right properties immediately. Thank you so much for watching. That's all for now.